What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for joining us once again on Robert Garcia Unfiltered. It's been quite some time. Apa, what's it been like a year?
Probably a year. You've been liking it.
I saw on YouTube it's over a year.
It is?
Over a year?
Well, I said a year ago, so.
It was, I think the last show we did was right after or right before the Anthony Joshua fight.
Oh, shit. So it's been a year. It's over a year. Yeah.
Wow. But we're back, guys. We're back. We'll be doing our podcast once a week again. Well, we'll be trying to every week whenever there's fights coming up. We're switching things up a little bit this time. We're gonna have a new host, my cousin Beba, Kristyna Ramirez. If you guys want to follow her on Instagram and YouTube, Beba, what are your channels?
On Instagram, I'm _ Kristyna Ramirez, and then on YouTube, I'm X.TinaSports.
So she's been doing her own YouTube channel now on Instagram. If you guys want to follow her, posting videos, interviewing fighters and stuff. This past weekend actually was the first time that she was able to work a fight. She got credentialed by Top Rank. Right. So she was at the Valdez Navarrete card. If you guys want to see some backstage access that she has, she did interviews with fighters, with who'd you do? Barrera, I saw.
Valdez, Lindolfo, Richard Torres Jr.,
Emiliano,
yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you guys follow her, but she's gonna be the new host, guys. One of the problems that we had too was that if my dad was, for whatever reason he was gone, or while he was gone in camp with AJ last year, it was a little bit hard to get our schedules right. And now that if one of us is gone, then it's kind of hard for the other one to do the show by himself. But now with my cousin, she'll be able to host the show, whether I'm here or my dad or both of us, or however it's going to work. So it should be a really easy transition now with her being the host. But yeah, let's get started with talking about this past weekend's fights.
All right, so we'll get started with Mireles versus Callaway. How would you guys grade Antonio's performance?
Well, I was really happy for Antonio because he trained very hard. Pita, we were in camp with him. He trained very hard because last fight he was hurt a little. He got dropped and got into some trouble during the fight. But what's up, Bear? Yes, what's up?
Mireles, what's up? What's up?
So we got so he came back, trained harder, got in really good shape, and did what he had to do. He controlled the fight very well and finished strong and stopped the guy in the last round. So I think it was a great performance. I think he did good. I know the crowd loved it, especially when he finished strong and he went for the finish. Mm-hmm. I think that's what the crowd loved, and that's what he needed. Especially coming off a fight where he got dropped and he was hurt. He came back strong and did what he had to do.
Us watching it on we didn't get to watch it.
Yeah, that's what we heard. That
the ESPN Plus broadcast was down.
Yeah.
Again, you and Felipe were at the Valdez Navarrete show. I was in Atlanta the day before with David. So I flew back home and I was trying to watch it, and ESPN Plus was completely down, so I didn't get to watch it. But I did go. I was really excited for that fight because we knew he had a really tough opponent. His opponent was I believe like 8-1. A big dude, weighs 400 pounds.
Yeah, 7 under. All 7 by knockout.
Yeah, so he was like 7-1 with like 7 KOs. A little under 400 pounds. Yeah, a little under 400 pounds. So there was close to like 700 pounds in the ring.
No, you know what's funny? Kristyna actually posted. She was like,
Kristyna Pancha.
Yeah, Kristyna Pancha. She was like, it's over 600 pounds in between these two, right?
Yes. But again, we didn't get to watch it. I did see that he got the TKO victory. Antonio, one of the hardest working guys in the gym. We were really happy to see that result.
Yeah, he works hard, and we also had another good win in Atlanta with David Navarro, because a lot of people were calling me right after the fight. Everybody, including Brad, to a lot of managers, people in boxing, that told me, hey, David looked really good. He was impressive. He did, really good. So you were there with him. You might be able to tell us a little more of how the fight went, because, the setup there is really nice. I told you it was really nice, and I'll be there next week with Cimarron. But But tell us more. I mean, a little bit about
Yeah, when we were writing the notes down to see what we were going to talk about today, we forgot to write in David. But I was in Atlanta on Friday. It's an overtime boxing is promoting shows for DAZN. It's kind of like a developmental series. But they're matching up most of their 6-rounders. Their 4-rounders, they're getting pretty soft touches. But once you get to the 6 rounds, most of them are really even match fights. I think David's opponent was also like 8 or 9-1. From what I had seen, he gave Duke Reagan a really, really good fight in a 4-round fight that they had. So going into it, we knew it was going to be a really tough fight. David has a loss that he lost by disqualification a few fights ago. It was
he
a
didn't lose
mess.
by disqualification. It was due to a cut. I was
Yeah,
there.
there it is.
It was early in the fight, but it actually was an elbow that cut.
They ruled it a punch. So he actually lost that fight, with the weird outcome. But he does have a loss on his record, and he's had, not, I want to say difficulty, but he's had some tough opponents where he's had to, he hasn't been able to get knockouts, because in the amateurs he was a big knockout guy. He hasn't had as many knockouts as a pro, and he's had some really, really tough fights. But this fight being his biggest step up, the toughest fight, he's also coming off of like a 10-month layoff. He hadn't been fighting. His manager had been working on this overtime boxing thing, trying to get his fighters on this. So hopefully now he gets to stay a little active. But it was probably it's for sure the best he's looked. And it was good because it was against the toughest opponent that he's had to date. So that was a really good win for David. But now we'll go back to the Valdez Navarrete card.
Let's move on to Emiliano's fight. What did you guys think of his knockout?
Well, Emiliano is one of those kids that's being developed right. He's got a great management team. Fernando Vargas doing a great job training him. Top rank, obviously, his promoters. They're the best at developing young fighters. And the thing about Emiliano is that when the bell rings, he goes to take care of business.
Yeah.
He's not one of those guys that is taking his time, or he goes out there, he's gonna go hurt whoever's in front of him. And that's what he did, especially coming off the weigh-ins where the guy was a little
talking shit?
Exactly. The guy was being a little disrespectful.
I interviewed him. He told me that he wants to knock him out because they were supposed to fight in Vegas, but I guess I don't know what happened, that the fight got called off, and he was saying that he was gonna knock him out, like all this stuff at the weigh-in. So that's why Emiliano had that.
See, what happens is, they were scheduled. They were going. The guy had been offered that fight to fight Emiliano in Vegas, but since the fight didn't happen, he's thinking that Emiliano didn't want to fight him.
He was blaming it on him.
That Emiliano didn't want to fight him. That Fernando Vargas didn't want to fight him. But the reason why they didn't fight is because Las Vegas or Nevada,
they probably didn't approve him.
It's strict. They didn't approve him. That's what it is.
Why?
So the way there's different. We know, right when you said, the fight didn't happen in Vegas for whatever reason, you just have to look at the guy's record. When I saw, I didn't know who I knew Emiliano was fighting. I didn't know who his opponent was. Obviously 4 or 6 rounds. They're bringing him pretty easy opponents. This guy started talking, at the weigh-in, getting in Emiliano's face and talking to Fernando and this and that. So I looked him up on BoxRec, and I think he had like a 2-5 or 3-5 record. He had been knocked out like 2 or 3 times already. So if he didn't fight Emiliano in Vegas, it's because he didn't get approved. The commissions are really, really strict.
I know. I talked to matchmakers from Top Rank, and that's the only reason they didn't fight in Vegas, because he did not get approved. So Arizona is a little bit easier when it comes to approving fights. So that's why the fight went to Arizona, months later. But the guy was talking like Emiliano and Fernando didn't want to fight him. But the reason was because he just didn't get approved in Nevada.
But now about the performance, Emiliano's one of the young prospects at Top Rank. They have high hopes for him, and he's delivering. He's already for such a young age and such a early in his career. He's probably like 5 or 6-0. He's still fighting 4 rounds. He's already developing a really, really crowd friendly kind of style. The way he reacts when he stops his opponents and the energy and what he shows after the fights, it attracts people. Like, people want to see that, that you're trying to hurt your opponent. Emiliano went out there to try to hurt him. when he was able to stop him, he walked over. I mean, when he dropped him, he walked over to him. He was talking smack to him. People love that. People love that.
You see the pictures of them putting both pictures when
Fernando.
Fernando did it to Ross Thompson,
Yeah,
and now
Fernando did
doing
it.
to this
Yeah,
guy.
I didn't see the picture. I didn't see that they posted that, but
both
I haven't seen it.
somebody posted those pictures of both of them, like, you know, when Fernando was
Yeah.
actually beating at
like, I didn't have to see them do that when Emiliano dropped him right away and he walked up and he was like that. I was like, that's like his dad against Ross
He
Thompson.
was
That's right.
showboating him
It
too
was-
in the
it was
corner.
Yeah, so
exactly.
Fernando did that back in the day against an opponent that I think smacked
Thompson.
him in the back of the head at a press conference. Ross Thompson walked behind Fernando and smacked him, and they were talking back and forth, and Fernando dropped him in the fight. He walks over to him, but Fernando's a little more gangster. Fernando walked up to him and he spit in his face.
Didn't he get
Fernando
fined?
spit in.
He got fined,
Fernando
but
got fined a lot of money for that,
best-
but he
that was
spit
the
in his
best
face.
$20,000 he was ever.
That-
Yeah, so he spit in his face, but yeah, Emiliano's he's gonna be a star. He's got a great style, fan friendly.
Yeah,
The
he's
crowd, the
really
people
showing
love
it.
him. You could tell.
His numbers, his views,
The
they're
way he
just,
carries
just
himself,
crazy, and
too.
and people love it. People go up to him, you know, they're already treating him like a superstar, so which is good for him. You know, he's bringing a lot of views for ESPN too.
Even
Top Rank loves
like
him.
on my TikTok, I have like over 130 something views on my TikTok because of him. I made
Yeah.
a video of those two. Huh?
Yeah, Emiliano's one of Top Rank's one of the guys. They have they're expecting a lot from him.
Correct.
Moving on to Lindolfo's fight. He fought a really smart fight, but many fans wanted to see a little bit more from him. What do you think needs to improve?
Well, you know, not only the fans, you know, myself, Top Rank, Brad Goodman, that everybody told me, you know, yeah, he performs. He won almost every round. You know, dominated the fight. Nice jabs, 1 or 2 punch combinations, and landed good. But you know, like we were just talking about Emiliano. Emiliano hurts his opponents and he goes for the kill. He wants to, you know, go and hurt somebody. This fight, you know, Lindolfo was a little too cautious, a little too careful. You know, I don't want to bring up stuff, you know, things or excuses, because he's my fighter and people might think that we're trying to get excuses. We talked about it after the fight, and Lindolfo himself, when we went to dinner, Lindolfo himself told me, you know, in the restaurant, look, Robert, I know I need to work on trying to be a little more aggressive when I land, when I hurt. You know, he relaxed it. That's the good thing. He says, I promise you, I'm gonna work on it. I want to thank you for you guys always believing in me and helping me out. But he realized it, and he knows that, you know, he heard obviously some boos that people were not happy.
They were booing since the first round too. Mexican fans.
Yeah, but that's the way it is. They want to see wars, because
Yeah, but
when you have a 100% Mexican fan,
and they're there to see Valdez versus Navarrete.
exactly.
Yeah.
They're there to see Valdez versus Navarrete. They're you know what I mean? That's the kind of fight that they're going for. That's the fight they're expecting. And they get Lindolfo, who goes 10 rounds, plays it really, really safe. And just like you said, that's all he needs to be have that more of the killer instinct to try to hurt the opponents, because you know, Lindolfo, this fight too, he's coming off of a long layoff too. He was supposed to fight earlier in the summer, and he, you know, for whatever reason, Top Rank didn't put him on one of their shows. But this, you know, the performance that he had is one of the reasons too that you know, we could speak a little bit about kind of the behind the scenes stuff, where Top Rank, they you know, Emiliano, I guarantee you Emiliano is going to go back in within 2 months. He's going to have another fight date.
Yeah, he already has a date.
So he's September 15th. That's a month later. Top Rank wants to see you not just win the fight, but they want to see something that's going to draw eyes to your next fight too. If you go the distance with somebody and Lindolfo, as he won every single round, dominated the whole fight. But when you win that easily, and then that means, you know, he could do more, and he could look for the knockout, push himself for a little bit extra. They don't, you know, for the next fight, yeah, you know, hopefully he starts developing that little killer instinct. But that's the kind of stuff that Top Rank likes.
That's why Lindolfo needs also, because February, his last fight,
gotta make people want to see you fight.
we're talking 6 months since his last fight. So they already told us, and I already knew before the fight when he's fighting again. He's going to be fighting again in November. So that's a little extra push for him, more motivation for him to try and, you know, and knows that he's going to be active. So that makes him feel a little bit better. And he told me, he promised me that he's gonna train a little bit harder and fight a little more aggressive. You know, when he lands good punches, he needs to go out there And like everybody else, go hurt his opponent, because that's what it is. We're in the hurt business.
How would you guys rate his performance?
Well, it was a good performance. Just like myself, like Top Rank, like different people, the crowd. We want to see a little bit more. And he knows. He knows we want to see a little bit more. He knows we want to see a little bit more. He knows, and he told me after the fight, I know I need to do a little bit more. I know I need to push myself a little bit harder. He told me, I promise you, I will do it in training. He's gonna get back to training because he's fighting in November. So he's gonna take a week off and come back to camp right away. So we're gonna have to push him a little bit harder, and he knows. And he told me that he knows that's what he needs. So I gave him a good performance, with the exception of maybe those moments where he should try a little bit harder.
He fought a tough opponent too. He fought right.
Well, the guy's tough. The guy takes good punches.
Yeah.
The guy's one of those guys that's smart enough to survive. He's got a weird style, very,
He went the distance with Raymond too.
Yeah, he went the distance with Raymond also. So he's one of those guys that knows how to fight, knows how to survive, and knows how to not get hurt, so he could get into another fight soon, because that's what he wants to do. He wants to get back in there and keep making money.
Yeah.
And he fights smart to survive.
Talking about Raymond, talk to us about his injury.
Well, during training camp, the last week of sparring, or the week before the fight, he got injured in training, and we tried to save the fight. We took some days off, the weekend off, to try to see how he was going to feel, but it just didn't get better. It started getting worse and worse, and to the point where we actually called Top Rank a week before the fight. Top Rank did a great job sending us to the right doctors. They did the right exams. They did the right everything necessary. But the injury was bruised up to a point where we had to cancel it. There's no Raymond was ready. Pita, the way he was sparring and the way he was doing in training camp. But injuries do happen. There's been fights. The main events get canceled the week of the fight. It's happened many times. We're glad. The good thing is that we also had Lindolfo on the card. They bumped him up to co-main event. We wanted Raymond to be the one there, make a statement, have a great performance, because he was in a real fight. The kid he was fighting, Diego Torres, was there all week. Also, I talked to him. I met him. I met his team. Great team, great people, but he was ready to fight. I talked to his promoters, and they all told me, you know what, Robert, this fight was going to steal the night, because it was going to be a nice fight.
Even Barrera said that.
Everybody said it. Everybody said it.
It would have been tough. It would have been tough to steal the night from fucking Valdez and Navarrete.
I'm telling you, because it was Because it was going to be such a close fight on records and everything. The kid is hungry to come and fight. The kid is I'm telling you, Barrera, Morales, they were all talking about that fight. They were all wanting to see that fight, because they all know that kid. The kid's from Mexico, and that kid is he's been knocking almost everybody out. Yeah. He's hungry to take Raymond's position. But Raymond was also in great shape. He's there. He's in the gym with us, so we knew it was going to be a great fight, and we had no doubt that Raymond was going to have a great performance. But injuries happen in boxing, and we have to now find another date. Hopefully, Top Rank could give us a date soon enough, so we could just do the fight again. We're not trying to fight somebody else. We want that fight again.
I was just gonna ask, is that fight still a possibility?
Well, hopefully they don't. Hopefully
the way
take another direction.
Yeah, it's a fight that you right away talked when you called Top Rank to let them know that Raymond got hurt and he might not be able to fight. Your intention when you called Top Rank was right away, hey, when can we reschedule the fight as soon as possible? You were even asking if maybe they can go September 15th in the show that they're having in El Paso or Corpus Christi.
Yeah, Corpus Christi.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and their card's already full. But people also need to understand the way that because it was going to be the co-main event, they obviously had a set amount of money that each guy was going to make. I'm sure the opponent was going to make good money too. Raymond was going to make really good money as well. They can't just throw them into a show that's already set, that the budget's already set. It's not even easy for them to throw them in like in October, because they have to be the co-main event. If they already have certain guys that they know are going to be their co-main event fighters. So for that fight to happen again, it's probably going to have to wait till maybe if they throw Raymond into something right away, like they say, okay, you know what, we could throw him in October, but it's going to be off TV, or it's going to be, it can't be the co-main event, then it's probably not going to be against that same opponent. Raymond against that same opponent has to be co-main event because of the purses that they were going to make, and that will probably end up being
that it was going to be. Yeah, everybody. No, I'm telling you, everybody.
No, but just because people right away are going to say, you know, like if they are able to throw Raymond in there, like let's say sometime in September or October, they do throw him in there, but he's not on TV, and then there's a new opponent, then right away everybody's going to say, oh, it's because, you know, oh, they didn't want to fight that opponent, or why aren't they fighting that same opponent? That's the reason. If Raymond comes on and he's on an undercard off TV or something just to get a fight in before because he missed out on this one from getting hurt, then they have to understand the reasoning. You know what I mean? Like that, the reason is because the purse that they were going to make, that has to be a co-main event somewhere. That has to be on a big card where they have enough budget to be able to pay each guy. Because I'm sure he's not going the opponent, Torres, isn't going to want to take a big pay cut. Raymond's not going to want to take a big pay cut for the same fight. As tough as the fight's going to be, they don't want to fight for a lot less money either. So just so people understand that, but yeah.
Right.
Have you guys talked to Raymond ever since?
No, I'll talk to him tomorrow. You know, I was really busy all week. You know, we were focused on our fights, but I'll talk to him tomorrow, see how everything's going. You know, it was just, you know, the injury is one of those injuries that it's not nothing was fractured or anything. It's going to take a couple of weeks, and he'll be fine too. He'll probably be back in the gym Monday, you know, tomorrow. So he's probably going to be back in the gym and start training. But yes, you know, the injury was one of those where we couldn't take a risk. We couldn't take a chance.
Especially with how good he is.
Correct.
You don't want to risk it. All right, Navarrete, Valdez, what about their performance?
Man, you know, I think comparing, you know, Morales versus Barrera, I think that's a little too hard to even compare it. You know, I knew the fight was going to be good. You know, I'm glad we were able to be there, be part of that event, because it was a great fight. You know, it was a good fight. Both fighters fought great, but yeah, I don't think it was.
It didn't live up to.
I don't think it did. I don't think it was. It was a good fight, but it wasn't close to what Barrera Morales did. You know, those guys. I don't know. It was just a different levels. You know, nothing to take away from Navarrete and Valdez, but I just think Barrera Morales is just something. You know,
they're different.
It was just different. Yeah, it's just different. But Navarrete, you know, if I'm not mistaken, I think he fought the last 4 or 5 rounds with a broken hand.
I think he was like in the 7th round.
Yeah, he's still dominated. He finished really strong.
He didn't care.
Never stopped landing. Yeah. Valdez was always trying, you know, with those to land those punches, and he landed a few too. So the fight was good. The fight was full of action. You know, I think one of the judges had it way off. I think one judge only gave
11-1
round. I think Valdez
119 to 109.
I think Valdez, you know, should have, you know, 3 or 4 rounds at least, you know, because the fight was good, you know. 4 rounds, I think, like I said, 3 or 4. But yeah, the one judge that only gave him 1 round, I think he was a little off there. But you know, there's no doubt that Navarrete won. Navarrete, you know, the style that he has, awkward style, we could say it's an ugly style. Yeah. But he's effective. He hardly misses, you know. He throws those punches that if you're on the outside, you're thinking, how can he be landing those? How is Valdez letting him hit him that easy? But no, it's difficult because he's just tricky. They come from, you know, so far that where you think, so if you're far from your opponent, there's no way you're gonna land uppercuts. Because uppercuts land when you're in close to each other. But this guy lands them from, you know, from a distance. Yeah. So he's effective, and it's worked for him. He's now a 3-division champion. If I'm not mistaken, he's moving up to lightweight. I think the lightweight division is gonna be a lot more tougher for him. I think the lightweight.
You just broke some news. Nobody knew about that.
No, well, I think he already said it. I don't know if he already announced publicly, but he's gonna move up. He told us.
Didn't say that to anybody.
He told us.
He told you. That's what I'm saying. You just broke news.
You think I shouldn't have said anything?
Probably shouldn't have said that. Nobody.
I already know who he's gonna fight.
He's fighting Lomachenko.
Is he really? No.
He's moving up to 135 pounds. He's the WBO champ, and he moves up. If you are the WBO champ and you want to move up in weight, you could challenge for the next title right away, and you have to fight the #1 guy, which is Lomachenko. So we're gonna get Navarrete versus Lomachenko. But no, you broke that. You said that at the weigh-in that he was telling you guys or his team and stuff.
Because he was right behind us. They put us in
Yeah, they put you in order.
Each team, and he was right behind us. And I, obviously he's always been a cool dude to me, man. In Puerto Rico at the WBO convention, he was, we had a good conversation. We talked for a while. He told me he's such a big Mikey fan, Mikey style, all that. And that was the first time I met him where I had a conversation with him. And so they're at the weigh-in. The first thing I said is, how you feeling, champ? And he told me, like shit, And
he said that,
he said it. He didn't give a fuck. He said, I feel like shit. And his face, you could see it in his face. Honestly, then I see Valdez, fresh, smiling with everybody.
Everybody interviews. I don't think Navarrete gave anyone interviews.
No, because
at
he
the
couldn't.
press conference. Yeah.
He was just very beat up. And Valdez was talking to everybody, smiling with everybody.
Because of that reason, I know you were leaning a little bit towards
There
Valdez.
I kind of like
you texted us.
There I kind of lean towards Valdez, but Navarrete is one of those tricky fighters that, like Brandon Rios. Remember Brandon Rios?
He would look terrible at the weigh-ins, and he goes out and throws 1,000 punches in a fight.
The next day he would throw so many punches and knock his opponents out in the 11th, like New York.
Yeah,
he knocked him out like in the 9th or 10th round, and when he was pretty much dead trying to make weight the night before.
Well, with this fight,
Navarrete pretty much went through the same thing.
He threw over 1,000 punches. I think Valdez only threw over 400,
or 500 maybe. Yeah, but Navarrete, he just recovers good. But that's the word that he's gonna be moving up in weight.
So he'll be fighting Loma.
Huh?
Him and Shakur.
Shakur is just a different level, but Navarrete style might be difficult for anybody because so far he's been difficult to anybody because he just hits so hard. He don't even have balance. When the first round, I don't know if you noticed that, Pita, but the first round he was like tripping on by himself. Like you're like he's weak or something, but no, he just keeps going, and finishes stronger. Doesn't open his mouth. He's one of those guys.
He comes out of that kind of fight with not even a mark on his face.
Yeah.
I seen a picture before and after.
The
same thing. The face didn't have any marks, anything. So he's one of those guys that's going to be in boxing for a long time and could surprise anybody. A lightweight, like I said earlier, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because the guys are bigger. Yeah. The guy lightweight division is stacked with so much talent. So it won't be as easy anymore. It was going to be tough for him, but he still has a chance. He has a lot of he's a very awkward style. He's got tremendous power. So that great heart. Fought with a broken hand, and didn't show any weakness. He was still throwing it. I think for like 2 rounds, he didn't throw it much for 2 rounds, but then he finished the last 3 rounds throwing it like if nothing was wrong with his hand. So he's one of those warriors. He's always gonna perform and always gonna give anybody trouble. I think he's just one of those guys that's always gonna give everybody trouble, especially his style.
Yeah,
it's hard. How do you prepare for him, Pita? How do you get ready? Who are you gonna hire as sparring? You can't.
No, you can't. The preparation for him is different. The style, the way he throws his punches, from where he throws his punches, like you said, he'll throw uppercuts from far where you're not even expecting it. But I think once he gets to lightweight, that's gonna be too much. He's not beating. Even those guys. He got in his last fight at 130. He also got dropped. He got hit. He gets hit a lot. Once you get to 135, I think it's different. Those guys are from 130 to 135. It's a big difference, and not just size. Obviously, it's a division up, but the skill level, everything is just different at 135. I don't think he'll have the same success against like Shakur Stevenson, against even the top contenders like Raymond and some of these guys, Lomachenko and
Loma.
I think Loma will beat him too. I think Loma will beat him. Oh, but that's not okay. Loma is the one guy where. His skill is insane, but he's also a small guy. He's a small guy. He's moving up. He makes weight, I'm sure, really, really easy. He can make 130, probably 126 if he had to. So he's a smaller guy, smaller frame, smaller everything. Maybe with him, but the rest of the guys and the big lightweights, Shakur's coming up from 126 too, but Shakur's a big dude, man. Shakur is he has the big long arms, broad shoulders. He's growing into into the divisions. He became champ at 126 really, really young, whereas Lomachenko was already like 27 years old already. That's as big as he was going to get.
Yeah,
Shakur's
Lomachenko
growing.
never grew
Shakur's going
anymore.
to end up being a welterweight one day.
Shakur was growing still.
Yeah, Shakur's going to end up being a welterweight one day. Loma will never even get to 140. You know what I mean? So that's the difference. But I don't think he has a lot of success at 135 against the top guys.
But overall, did you guys enjoy the fight?
It was a
great
fight. It was a great fight. Honestly, every round, every minute of it was. We were waiting for that one punch that Valdez could land. That same punch that he did against Bercher and Navarrete. You know, when is he going to land that right uppercut that where he's going to drop Valdez? It was just a fight that was. The whole crowd was excited. There was so many, you know.
The atmosphere was crazy.
Yeah, it was
Even
great. It was
flips. Everybody was yelling.
Yeah, exactly. It was great, you know. So it was a great event, a great night of boxing in Arizona. I know there was a few other shows in different parts of the world, but this one was a great event. The crowd, the undercard, you know, with the fighters, you know, like Richard Torres. Antonio Mireles, Vargas, you know, all those young fighters, Lindolfo Delgado, you know, at the end, it was a great event, great boxing show.
Talking about other fights, what about AJ versus Helenius? I didn't see this fight, but I saw the highlights and people were saying that it started off sluggish until he finally let his hands go in the seventh. Do you believe AJ training here with Derek James made a difference in that fight?
Well, you know what?
Did you watch it, Apa? Did you watch it?
I seen the knockout.
But you didn't watch the fight?
I don't know if you watched it.
I watched the whole fight. Yeah.
Okay. Watching the knockout, and what I seen was actually a nice jab to the body.
Right hand up top.
With the right hand on top, which is something that works very well. And to me, watching that looked really good. You know, to me that looked good. But I don't know. I didn't see the rest of the fight. I really didn't get a chance to see it, and I don't know if I'll even watch it, but I seen that the knockout, and it was a nice jab to the body, followed by the right hand upstairs, which was something really nice. Yeah. It looked really good.
The fight was boring. I don't see a difference in Anthony Joshua from the not just from when he was training with you, but I'm talking since he fought the second fight with Andy Ruiz. The second fight that he did with Andy Ruiz to now, there's not a single thing that has changed with him. He's changed trainers 2 times already. He left his trainer in the UK, went to you. He left you. He goes to Derek James. It's not the trainers. It's, you know, he's fighting a certain level of opponents right now where he's winning. But the rumors are that his next fight is going to be against Deontay Wilder. That fight, there is absolutely, I wouldn't say no chance because they're big heavyweights and they hit hard. Wilder's gonna knock him out in however long it takes for him to because he fights fights now worried about not like he's worried. You could tell while he's fighting.
Did he fight like that? Did he fight like that?
He fights.
I didn't see the fight.
I saw the highlights and the commentators were saying that he looked like he doesn't believe in himself.
Exactly. So he fights worried. And he's worried right now against Robert Helenius. He's worried about who was his last fight against? I forget his last opponent's name. His first fight with Derek James. So it has nothing to do with Derek James. It had nothing to do with the trainers. He looks like he doesn't believe in himself. And going into a fight against Deontay Wilder, that's the worst guy you want to go into a fight not believing in yourself. The power that he has and the confidence that he has in himself. He got stopped and he got beat up in a fight against Tyson Fury the second time, and he asked for a third fight right away. And he came out.
He was mad when they stopped
and
him.
He was pissed. And he comes out trying to hurt you, looking to hurt his opponents. He's talked about how one of his goals was he wants to catch a body in the ring. He wants to kill somebody. He's talked about that. That's the worst guy that AJ could go in there with. And that fight, if they do make it, then that's going to be good for everybody because it's going to be a lot of money. It's going to be a huge event. It's going to be a fight that all of us are going to tune into. Everybody's going to want to watch. But that fight, the actual competition of it, like, who do we think is going to win? There's no doubt that Deontay Wilder is going to hurt.
But see, one thing, I just seen the knockout. And I've said it, and I've said it many times. He hits hard. Anthony has power. So
But he doesn't throw with intentions to hurt.
Why did he see the fight?
He doesn't know.
But he did when he knocked him out.
Okay,
Yeah.
that guy got knocked out by Deontay Wilder in like a minute. That guy didn't even last a minute with Deontay Wilder. They just fought last like November.
Yeah,
He didn't even last a minute.
Right?
He didn't even last a minute. First right hand, boom, he was asleep. AJ doesn't throw with the confidence.
Well, I didn't see the fight, but I just seen that one that jab.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
Right.
And the fight with Deontay Wilder, there's only one way it's gonna end. It's gonna end with Deontay Wilder knocking him out. It just depends on how long AJ is gonna be able to keep him off of him, or or hold him and grab him and move. If he lands a punch too, then obviously he could hurt him. But like I said, they're heavyweights. They're heavyweights just naturally. You land a good punch, you can knock out a guy with in the first second of the fight. But if you're telling me who do I think, and if I had to bet a lot of money on it, it's Deontay Wilder by knockout. It just depends on whenever he wants to either. It's not that easy either, but it's whenever he lands that right hand, and it's gonna happen. There's no AJ's not gonna beat him. That's the worst guy he could fight, because that guy goes into the ring, like I said, looking to hurt his opponents, and AJ doesn't have that.
All right, so it was just announced December 16th, Bam versus Sunny Edwards. What can we expect to see from Bam that night?
Well, not only from Bam, but Sunny Edwards also. They're both world champions. It'll be a unification fight. I'm pretty sure Sunny's gonna come well prepared. So is Bam. Bam's always well prepared for all of his fights. He works out very hard and trains hard. So he's always physically, mentally, everything ready for whoever's in front of him. This time around, I know Bam has told Pita, Sunny been talking a little too much, but and that kind of gets Bam to say, I'm gonna put a beating on him. I'm gonna put a beating on him. But it works for Sunny, because Sunny, he hypes himself up like that. But he fights, he's also a good boxer. He goes out there and performs well. So, the fans are and it's gonna be in Arizona, same place where we were at, this weekend. So it's gonna be a good fight. Bam became champion in Arizona when he beat Cuadras, and now he has a chance to become unified champion, which he already became the first San Antonio native to become a 2-division champion. So this is gonna be he's gonna be the first unified champion from San Antonio, where it sucks that they didn't get that. His brother should have been the first unified champion when he fought in Tokyo. We all seen it. The whole world said that Josh won, but on paper it was a draw. So we can't argue. We can't say that he was. Because the judges gave it a draw. So Bam's gonna do it. It's still gonna be in the family. I know Josh is gonna be very happy for his brother. Now that Josh is retired, he's gonna be very happy that his brother becomes the first unified champion from San Antonio. But we can't think it's gonna be just a walk in the park. Do we think Bam's gonna hurt him? Do I think Bam's gonna fuck him up? Yeah. Bam's gonna go in there to fuck him up. But Sunny's also gonna fight, man. He's a champion, a world champion. He wants to be unified also. So it's gonna be great, especially press conference, the weigh-ins, the way he talks, he's gonna make the fight entertaining. The fans are gonna show up because they're gonna want to see Bam beat the shit out of him. He'll probably bring some fans from the UK. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he does have fans from the UK. But it's gonna be. I can't wait. He's been waiting
for an opportunity like that too. Sunny Edwards has. He's
exactly.
He's done a good job with the promotion already. He's done a really good job on social media and getting people to talk. Bam doesn't like doing any of that. Bam doesn't like being on social media talking and he doesn't like the attention either. We know Bam. We've been around him since he was real young. They're not big fans of talking, of being out in public, they're more to themselves, him and his brother. So Sunny's gonna do all that, and you need that sometimes. A few years back, when the super flyweights were barely getting started and on HBO and stuff, you had Carlos Cuadras, who was kind of like the shit talker of the division at the time. He would talk about Chocolatito and when he was gonna fight him and this and that. So you need that kind of stuff. You know, Chocolatito's similar to Bam. They don't say much. They don't talk. They're just, you know, they just like to go in there and fight, and that's it. Cuadras was doing a lot of the promotion and talking and this and that. I'm gonna do this. Y tú crees que esto sale por jugar canicas, and you know, all the stuff. He kind of became like the little mini villain of the super flyweights. Sunny Edwards is like that. He's doing a really good job. Because he's also talking so much and Bam's not saying anything, people take that as a sign of like that Bam, like he said it on DAZN where he says, oh, thanks, you know, Eddie, for, you know, for getting this fight. We finally cornered him and we finally put him and his team in a corner where they couldn't escape and say no, like as if there was any doubt that Bam wasn't gonna fight him. Or so he's doing a really good job of also creating a narrative of oh, they didn't want to fight me, I forced them to fight me. So a few of the things that he needs that the people understand too. Everybody knows that Sunny Edwards is this kind of promotional kind of guy where he talks a lot, he does this, he does that. It's obviously a bigger fight if it's a unification fight. Another thing too is the IBF has certain rules that you know, one of the reasons that not the IBF hardly ever has the biggest star in each division fighting for their belt is because they have a lot more rules that they make you go by that the other belts really don't. So you never really saw Pacquiao with the IBF, you never saw Mayweather, you don't see, you know, the big names don't go after the IBF right away. One of the things they have is they have a rule of, I don't know if it's 10% or 10 pounds that you could only gain after the weigh-in the next morning. But if you're in a unification fight, that rule no longer applies. So obviously, if Bam fought at 115, he's going back down to 112. We want there to be no restrictions, no nothing. So Sunny himself too, while he is doing a really good job, he's also creating a dumb narrative of they're scared, they never wanted to fight me and stuff. Then when negotiations were going on, they want this, they want that. Well, yeah, that's what negotiations are for. That's what negotiations are. If him and his management and his team and stuff agreed to everything Matchroom said, then that's good for him. But you didn't. And you fought for this, you wanted that. But you know, like I said, he's created this narrative of things, but everything was planned. Was Bam, there's besides Sunny, it's Sunny and Rey Martinez, the two biggest fights for Bam in the division. There's no way Bam was going to move back up to 115 without fighting those guys. This fight was always going to happen. You know, Bam obviously had an injury in his last fight where he fractured his jaw. If not, the fight would have been happening sometime like this month. It would have been sometime in August.
Yeah, it was scheduled for July.
Yeah, so it was scheduled for July. So it would have already happened
August,
right now.
August, my bad, August.
I think it was August.
Yeah.
So it would have been happening during this month, but Bam fractured his jaw. So that extended everything a little bit. Even then, he's still saying like you know, talking shit and this and that. But and like like I said, Bam doesn't say anything. So online, it's like, oh yeah, Sunny is doing this, and they don't want to fight him. That's why they're not saying anything or this and that. Bam doesn't have to say anything. Bam's gonna stay quiet. He's gonna train. He's already training. He's gonna get to the fight in the best shape he's ever been, as ready as he possibly can be for the fight, and he's gonna let his punches do the talking for him. But you know, it's good. You know, we need Sunny Edwards and guys like that in divisions, and you know, guys that draw attention and talk and stuff. It's good for the sport. It honestly is.
He has some good motivation. He has a deal with Clarissa Shields if he beats Bam.
Yeah,
they're gonna go on a date.
But she also says she thinks, she's like, yeah, but I think Bam's gonna whoop his ass.
Yeah, she said that. But that's good motivation for him. Has Bam talked to you guys about his recovery process?
No, we stay in touch with him and his dad, and we've actually seen him, you know, a couple of times that I've been to San Antonio and everything, and he's good. He's feeling good. He's on
vacation right now.
He was on a little vacation the last couple of weeks. So you know, before he starts serious camp, he was in a little 2-week vacation just to start camp pretty soon. He's ready. You know, we're just gonna be careful with sparring right now. We'll start sparring maybe as early as October, mid-October. So the fight's not till December 16th. So you know, we'll be ready. You know, Bam trains very hard. He's very dedicated. When he comes to camp, he's one of those guys that's not going to cheat during camp. You know, we have a lot of fighters, you know, that are actually fighters. We've had fighters that are getting ready for a world title fight, and we learned that, you know, they were eating Panda Express,
passing camps and stuff. But Bam's not like that.
People that just
they don't care.
They cheat.
Yeah,
you know, they're not supposed to, but they cheat. Bam's not that kid. Right. Bam is dedicated. Bam is focused. When he starts camp, he's not going to cheat. He's going to train his ass off. And for this fight, I know how bad he wants it. Mm-hmm. I know how bad he wants to beat up on Sunny Edwards.
Right.
I know he wants to beat him up.
Yeah, so that's one of the things too that Sunny's doing is he thinks he's maybe, talking smack and I'm gonna get in his head and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. He's just making it worse for himself. Like that's all he's doing. That's why Bam doesn't say anything. That's why nobody just keeps to themselves and stuff. It's because he's honestly just making it worse for himself. Like he's digging his own grave. That's what he's doing. But fuck it.
I'm excited. When does he start camp?
Well, when he gets back from vacation, I'm thinking, maybe mid-September, early October, but he's already,
He'll be training back home. He said he trains back home.
A lot of exercise, so he's not staying out of shape. We're not going to see a Bam that's totally out of shape. When he comes to camp, he's already going to be semi in shape and getting ready to start hard workouts. So by December 16th, people will see well prepared Bam, he's going to be in great, and so is Sunny. I'm pretty sure Sunny's going to be in the best shape of his life too, because this is a huge fight for him too, especially coming to the States, against Bam, who a lot of people, saying that he's going to be the next superstar, pound for pound, one of the best in the world. So Sunny's also getting ready. I don't want to, we're not shit talkers, but I know what Bam is, and I know what Bam wants to do, and what he's going to do in the ring. Exactly.
How would you guys compare their styles?
Well, from what we see with Sunny, I don't know what they're gonna plan during training camp. That's not on my business.
He only has one thing he's gonna do. They're not planning on anything.
He's a boxer, and he's gonna try to box, and he's gonna try to run, and I don't think he's gonna brawl and try to exchange punches, because he doesn't have the power. He does, he's just a fast boxer. So wouldn't expect something else. We know that he's gonna try to box and win by decision. That's what else can he do? But he is a good boxer. He does box.
He's good at what he does.
Good footwork. So we gotta be
entertaining.
We gotta be in top shape too. We gotta be ready. We gotta, have a good game plan too. If it's cutting up the ring, if it's fighting in close, or if it's,
making it dirty, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, we have to be ready. We'll come up with that during training camp. But it'll be a pretty exciting fight. I think it's gonna be a great fight. The fans in Arizona are gonna love it.
All right. And last thing here, you guys want to talk about your show this upcoming Saturday?
Yeah, we have our next Garcia Promotions event this Saturday, August 19th in San Bernardino. I want to invite everybody. We have, I believe, eight scheduled fights. A lot of local talent. We have Louis Coria main event versus Herbert Acevedo, people that have been following us for years, since back when we were in Oxnard and with Ellie and stuff. They remember Herbert. He's from Garden City, Kansas. He'll be fighting Louis Coria in the main event. Herbert's brother will be on the undercard as well, fighting Chema. We have Albert Gonzalez, 4-0, 2 knockouts, featherweight, that will be on the show. We have Leo Rubalcaba, who is 1-0, just turned pro a few weeks ago in Mexico. He'll be making his U.S. debut. We have the actual debut of Art Barrera, just turned 18 years old. He's a 5-time national champ. They'll get a chance to see him. I'm missing Baby will be on the show. I believe Baby's 3-0, 2-0, something like 3-0. Who else? Who am I missing?
Chema already. Yeah.
Oh, you already said Chema.
Chema. We have a few guys that aren't. We have Jesus Beltran, who is a local kid from San Bernardino. He'll be on the show. We don't train him, but he's on the show. Another one is a guy from KMF, Diego Dominguez. He's also on the show. Again, doesn't train with us, but we have a few local guys that don't train at our gym, but they will be on the card. So yeah, an action-packed, night of fights is going to be at the. Well, actually, they just changed the name. They changed the name because the place that we usually do it at, it's an indoor place. It's a nice venue. We're actually doing this event outdoors. The address is 217 East Club Center Drive in San Bernardino. It used to be called the Club Event Center, but if you look up the address, then you'll be able to, you'll see signs once you pull up how to go to the back where we're gonna have the event. But yeah, it should be a great night of fights. We did our last show in January, which was a sold out crowd. We had like 1,100, 1,200 people in the venue. So hopefully this one sells out as well. But yeah, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about the event.
Just tickets. You
can purchase tickets. The day of the event, we're gonna have a set amount of tickets that we're selling the day of the event. Tickets are $60 general admission. It's first come, first serve. And then we have ringside seats that are reserved. We have only 200 of those. I think there's only like 30 left. The ringside ones are probably going to be sold out by the time. If you want to order tickets ahead of time, you could contact me. My phone number is 951 951-505-9825. Again, 951-505-9825. That's the number for the gym. So if you send a text message to that number, you can reserve seats ahead of time. Like I said, the ringside ones will probably be sold out. The general admission, we're probably gonna have like 100 left. Yeah, if you contact me through
They
that
could
number,
also
I just
contact
gave you
any of the fighters, because the fighters are also, they also
the
have-
fighters. Most people that know the fighters, like if you know one of the fighters, just contact the fighter, and then they have tickets that they're selling as well. But for the people that are probably just watching on YouTube and want to pull up to the event, like I said, contact me at the number I gave you guys. Send me a text message, and I can reserve some tickets for you guys.
All right, cool. We have this last minute thing. We wanted to have Bear's opinions on these fighters. Bear, get over here.
Is he there?
Yeah, he's over here.
Yeah, very sure. He's been waiting, Pita.
He's been waiting so patiently for this.
Yeah, he's Bear wanted his
We
moment
gotta
to
have the
shine.
bear segment.
Bear
Vente, Bear.
segment. Come on, Bear. You ready?
Okay,
He's
dile,
ready.
dile, Pita, que you ready.
Let's do it. Okay.
Dile, let's do it.
All right.
Gael, what'd you think about Lindolfo?
He like
What'd you think about his fight?
He did good?
he beat up the other guy.
Yeah, he did. What
Shit.
about Antonio?
Did you see Antonio?
No,
You didn't see it?
nah.
Oh yeah, because Bear wasn't at the fights, right?
No, he didn't go to the fights. He was at where were you at? What concert did you go see? He went to go see Junior Nachi.
Sing a song.
What
What kind of music you put?
What
song
about
you-
Oscar Valdez?
Luna, that did I do?
Okay, did you
What
see
about
Oscar Valdez?
What happened to Oscar Valdez?
He got beat up
By who?
by
By Navarrete? He got beat up?
yeah.
Yeah. How do
You liked it?
Fuck, damn. And what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen to Sunny Edwards?
He's gonna get beat up
By who?
by Bam.
By Bam.
That's
Who's
badass,
the
huh?
first fighter?
Chama.
Chema, the first
Chema.
fighter?
And
Who?
Raymond?
Raymond?
And bam.
Bam.
That's
Oh,
it? You
Uncle
know
Sam.
those three?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you have to tell the fans? What do you want to tell them?
You know how to do that better.
Follow you at what?
Follow you.
What's your Instagram?
Bear
Bear
Garcia
Garcia?
Paz.
Bear
Paz.
Garcia
Bear
Paz.
Garcia
At
Paz.
Bear Garcia Paz.
Right? Okay. Bear wanted a segment, so we
Yeah.
gotta give him her. Okay, diles bye a tus
Yes,
fans.
bye.
Diles los guachos.
Wait, sing a song de Junior H, pues. Canta.
Que de
Eso, Puma.
payaso.
Mensaje. Por la muerte, una cosecha china, a la señora Motana, unos días más, bueno, diablo, sería.
¿Cómo le haces con la mano? Oh, pues.
Yeah. Okay, pues diles
All
bye.
right, say bye.
So that does it, guys, for this show. Again, we will be back. We will be back every week. Next week, since there's no, I don't think any of the big networks or anything has a big fight coming up next week. Well, we're gonna.
But
what?
we'll talk about our show. We'll talk about
We could do an episode where we talk a little bit about our fights, but what we are gonna do for sure is we're gonna upload videos of all the fights. So make sure you guys stay tuned. If you're local in the area and you need to get some tickets, contact me at the number I gave you guys. It's gonna be a night of great fights. We hope to see a lot of you guys there. But if not, like I said, we will be uploading videos next week of all the fights. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And we will promise we won't go a whole year without uploading again.
A whole year. So yeah, we're gonna hold it down. Right, Theo? We got this.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Again, Beba will be our new host. Whenever one of us can't be there, she will be there. She'll be in charge from now on. This will be the new way, the new setup for the show. We hope you guys enjoy. We hope you guys enjoy.
She has a lot of training to do because
Yes.
she's getting hired into a big company.
Yes,
So
I know.
she
Yeah.
needs to
I need
get a
all
lot
the
of practice.
experience. I need all the experience. So this is just the start. But yeah,
Beba,
you
tell
can
them
follow
before we get off again, where to follow you on Instagram, your YouTube,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Instagram at _Kristyna Ramirez. I'll help Pita put it down here somewhere. And then on my YouTube at X.Tina's World.
So you
Tina
guys have it. Make sure you guys.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. That was my old name. That was my old name.
So now it's
Yeah.
TinaSports.
X.TinaSports. Yes.
She needs a
Yeah,
little
and
bit of
I
practice.
have some interviews from the Navarrete Valdez fight. So yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you guys tune in for behind the scenes stuff from the Valdez Navarrete week, and stuff going forward. But again, that does it for today's episode. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.